Hello everyone. Today we'll be reviewing a compact battery-powered module capable of boosting voltage. In simple terms, the module works as follows. A battery is connected to it and a step-up DC-DC converter installed on the module increases the battery voltage to a higher voltage of 4 to 28 volts. This voltage can power absolutely any load. The module can be charged with a constant current of 5 volts via a USB-C port. For my tests, I used a lithium-ion battery with a nominal voltage of 3.7 volts and a capacity of 800 mAh. LX-LCBST states that the module can use lithium-ion or lithium polymer batteries. Input voltage ranges from 4.2 to 6.5 volts. Output voltage ranges from 4.2 to 28 volts, and a maximum output power of 5 watts. The module's board has few components. Here's a 3-amp 40-volt SS34 Schottky rectifier diode. Here's a 10 microhenry inductor. A variable resistor adjusts the output voltage. On the right is a boost converter chip labeled a 28513. Below is a chip with 8 pins. This is a voltage and current regulator for charging the battery. Its labeling is 4050H. And on the right is another chip with 5 pins labeled MKD0H. I couldn't find any information about this chip online. If anyone knows, please let me know. Other than that, of course, there are a lot of capacitors and resistors, as well as 2 LEDs. The blue one lights when the battery is fully charged, and the red one lights when charging. When charging is complete, the red one goes out and the blue one lights up. The battery is connected to the B and B+ terminals with the corresponding poles, and the load is connected to the minus and plus terminals. This will be the output of the step-up converter. There are no radio components on the backside, but there are plenty of soldering terminals. The bottom ones are exactly the same as on the backside. The battery connection and the output from the step-up converter. The terminals from the step-up converter have been added at the top. So the terminals at the top and bottom are simply duplicated. And 2 input terminals have been added on the right. If you don't want to use the USB-C port, you can simply solder wires here and supply 5 volts. There are 2 terminals marked with the letter T here. I'll talk about them a little later. The marking on the board is the module's identification. You can easily find it on Google or AliExpress using this information. I've now applied 5 volts to the module's input. I want to check if the IN plus and IN terminals actually show the input voltage. Yes, that's correct. The multimeter shows 5 volts. That's very good. Now let's look at the other terminals. If 5 volts is supplied to the module but the battery isn't connected, the idle voltage at the battery terminals is 4.3 volts. And the converter output wires show a very high voltage. Now I'll switch the multimeter to a different mode. And here it shows 28 volts. This is because the boost converter regulator is set to maximum. The voltage at the duplicate terminals is the same. The module charges the batteries to 4.17 volts. This is a normal voltage for these batteries. There's no need to worry about damaging the battery. When 5 volts is supplied to the module and the battery isn't connected, both LEDs light up. The blue one is bright, and the red one is barely noticeable. After I connect the battery, the blue LED goes out, and the red one starts to glow brightly. This indicates that charging is in progress. Now let's see how the module performs under load. I connected this large fan to the output of the step-up converter. I set the output to 12 volts. I connected this converter to the module's terminals, where the battery should be. It's called the XYSK120. If anyone's interested, I'll leave a link to its review in the description. This will be the battery replacement. I'll be supplying 3.6 volts from it. We'll use its display to determine the current the module under test is drawing. This multimeter will show the module's output voltage, and that current is the load's current. I press the button and apply current to the module. The input is 3.6 volts, and the output is 12 volts. I connect the fan. It starts working immediately. The voltage on the module hasn't dropped. The fan draws 260 milliamps. The SK120 shows a total load of about 4 watts. I'll try slowing down the fan with my finger to increase the load. Current is 400 milliamps. Load is 7.5 watts. The voltage doesn't drop. Now I'll try reducing the voltage on the SK120. This will simulate the battery discharging. We'll see when the module disconnects the load to prevent damage to the battery from low voltage. And we'll see what the output voltage is. I reduce the voltage from 3.6 volts to 3.1. Now the input voltage is 2.6 volts, and the output voltage has already started to drop. At the same time, the output voltage has also dropped significantly, and at 2.3 volts, the module shuts off. There's now no voltage at the output, and the module isn't drawing any current. Now I'll increase the voltage. We'll see when the module turns on. This happened at 2.9 volts. Let's look at it again. I'm lowering the voltage again. And just like last time, at 2.3 volts, everything shuts off. Now I'll increase the voltage. And when the voltage reached 2.9 volts, everything turned on. Now let's try the same thing, but with a smaller fan. I immediately apply 2.9 volts to the module's input. I lower the voltage. The output voltage also drops sharply. The entire module shuts off at 2.3 volts. Now I'll increase the voltage back, disconnect the fan, and see how much the output voltage drops at idle without a load. I turn the regulator, the input voltage decreases, but the output voltage is more stable. And at 2.3 volts, everything shuts off just like before. I increase the voltage, and at 2.9 volts, everything turns on. Without a load, the output is immediately 12 volts, even with such a low input voltage. It turns out that the step-up DC-DC converter installed on this module always shuts off when the input voltage drops to 2.3 volts and turns on when it reaches 2.9 volts. Now let's see if the step-up converter works if I apply 5 volts to the input and the battery isn't connected. As you can see, the multimeter shows 12 volts at the output, as I set it. But when I connect the fan, the voltage immediately drops to 3.6 volts. So the step-up converter only works correctly when the battery is connected. It draws current only from the battery. Now let's see what current the battery is charged with. From here, I'll apply 5 volts to the module's input. I connected the battery to the output. I press the button, and the battery starts charging. The current is 1.1 amps. That's a lot of current, meaning my battery will charge in about an hour. But on the other hand, that's also very bad. The difference between the input and output is 1.5 volts. The microcircuit that drives the battery here is linear. It will dissipate the entire voltage difference between the input and output. And with that much current, the generated heat will be more than 1.5 watts. And all that heat will be dissipated in this small microcircuit. As expected, the module gets very hot when charging the battery, so I decided to measure its temperature. I have a remote temperature sensor on the SK120 converter. I'll tape it to the battery charging microcircuit. You can see the temperature here on the display. I press the button and apply current. The battery starts charging. The current is 1.1 amps. As you can see, the temperature starts to rise very quickly. I left the battery charging for 10 minutes. And now I'll speed up the video. The speed will be 20 times greater than the original. The maximum temperature I was able to record was 58 degrees Celsius. Over time, the current began to drop and the voltage increased. Consequently, the heat dissipated by the chip also began to decrease. After that, the temperature began to drop gradually, but it still remained above 50 degrees Celsius. Now let's see if the module draws any current when the battery is connected. There is no load on the output. I've already connected the negative terminal of the battery, and I'll connect the positive terminal using a multimeter. As you can see, the module is currently drawing 0.5 milliamps. This is a very small current, but if the module is left connected to the battery will eventually discharge. Therefore, some kind of switch needs to be installed between the module and the battery. As I mentioned earlier, the battery charging circuit is based on the 405OH microchip. The manufacturer's specified battery charging current is 1.1 amps, but if you don't need that much charging current, you can lower it. The microchip's wiring harness contains a resistor that can be replaced with another one, which will also change the charging current. There's a special formula for this in the datasheet. Currently, it uses a 1 kilo ohm resistor. The wiring harness for the 4056H microchip looks like this. A current adjusting resistor is installed between the second and third pins. It's called R-ISET. The formula for calculating current looks like this: 1000 divided by the resistor's resistance. In this case, its resistance is 1000 ohms. This gives the battery charging current. If the resistor's resistance is accurate, the charging current should be 1 amp. But here, as I've already shown, the current is slightly higher. Apparently, the resistor's resistance is slightly different. To reduce the current, you need to use a higher resistor. Once you find the desired resistance, remove the original resistor and install a new one. While testing the module, I noticed that the DC-DC converter chip gets very hot under load, especially when the load current is 200 or 300 milliamps. And if the current is even higher, the chip will heat up in just a few minutes to a temperature so high that it'll burn your finger. Therefore, I would recommend a maximum load current of about 100 milliamps for this module. Also, I don't recommend shorting the DC-DC converter output wires together. I couldn't find a datasheet for this chip, so it's unclear whether it has short circuit protection. There's also a rather inconvenient small trimmer resistor. You can use either a very small screwdriver or, as I did, rotate it with tweezers. In both cases, it's best to do this with the module disconnected. Otherwise, there's a risk of shorting something on the board. Also note that turning clockwise decreases the voltage, while turning counterclockwise increases it. As we've already seen, the step-up DC-DC converter only shuts off at 2.3 volts. For a lithium-ion battery, this is a very low voltage, and it could damage it. Therefore, a lithium-ion battery must have a BMS protection system. If it's not included with the battery, you can buy one separately. For example, like this one I reviewed a while ago. It's a very small and inexpensive BMS. It fits many batteries. Now I'll tell you about the contacts marked with a T on the board. These contacts are related to the operation of the DC-DC converter and the battery. As I already mentioned, the battery shuts off at 2.3 volts, but this only happens if these contacts are not closed. If they are closed, the DC-DC converter will not shut off, even if the battery voltage drops to a very low level. At this point, the DC-DC converter's output voltage will drop significantly, even under the lightest load, but it will still draw the last bit of energy from the battery. Therefore, these contacts don't need to be shorted. That's all for today. If you like the module, you can purchase it by following the link in the description. The module is inexpensive, about $50. Like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Ask questions in the comments if anything is unclear, and bye everyone.